Have you ever been in the middle of a peaceful day, only to suddenly find yourself in the middle of a meltdown? Your child, who was fine just moments ago, is now overwhelmed, upset, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You try everything, but nothing works. And you're left wondering, why did this happen? What triggered this? If this sounds like something you've experienced, trust me, you're not alone. Meltdowns can feel like they come out of nowhere, but there's actually a lot going on underneath the surface. Stay with me, because today we're going to explore why these meltdowns happen, and, more importantly, how you can better understand your child's needs to help manage them. By the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer idea of what's happening when a meltdown occurs, and I'll share some practical strategies that can make a world of difference in helping your child navigate those overwhelming moments. So let's get started. Before we get into the specifics of what causes meltdowns and how to manage them, it's important to start with one key distinction. Meltdowns are not tantrums. That's a big one. It's easy to think that your child is just acting out or misbehaving, but that's not what's happening here. Meltdowns are not about defiance, and they definitely can't be fixed with simple discipline or a timeout. In fact, trying to address a meltdown with a punishment can actually make things worse for your child. Meltdowns are intense emotional and physical reactions to overwhelming sensory or emotional inputs. When a child with autism reaches their breaking point, their brain and body react in a way that can feel uncontrollable. This is why it's so crucial that we approach these moments with empathy, understanding, and support. Meltdowns are often misunderstood, but once you understand what's happening behind the scenes, it's much easier to approach them with the right mindset. Essentially, a meltdown is an intense, uncontrolled reaction that occurs when a child with autism is overwhelmed by stimuli that they can't process or control. It might seem like it happens suddenly, but the truth is, these meltdowns are usually the result of a buildup of stressors, things that have been happening throughout the day or over time that finally push the child past their ability to cope. Imagine this. You've had a long, stressful day at work. Maybe it's noisy, maybe it's hot, and you haven't eaten. Suddenly, something small happens. Maybe a coworker asks a question, and it feels like the weight of the world is on you. You can feel yourself losing it, right? Now imagine that your child is experiencing that, but they don't have the words or coping skills to manage it. That's where meltdowns come in. Let's look at Lucy, a 6-year-old girl with autism. Lucy is generally a calm child, but after school, she's often hit with a meltdown. Her mom, Kate, noticed that these meltdowns happen after Lucy has been exposed to too many stimuli throughout the day. Loud noises in the classroom, bright lights, social interactions, and the overall busyness of the school day. One day, Lucy completely broke down when it was time to do her homework. Kate thought it was the homework that triggered the meltdown, but when she looked closer, she realized it wasn't the task itself. It was the sensory overload from all the stimulation she'd experienced during the day that caused her to shut down. The homework was just the final straw. Now that we know what meltdowns are, let's talk about what triggers them. Children with autism are particularly sensitive to their environment, and there are several common triggers that can lead to meltdowns. It's often a combination of things, and understanding these triggers can help you reduce the chances of meltdowns in the first place. Some of the most common triggers include sensory overload, changes in routine, and frustration from communication difficulties. Let's break each one down. Sensory overload is a huge trigger for many children with autism. This happens when they're exposed to too many sensory stimuli, things like bright lights, loud noises, strong smells, or certain textures. While these things may seem harmless to most of us, for children with autism, their brains process sensory inputs differently. What might be just a background noise to you, like the hum of a fluorescent light or a crowded store, can feel like a massive disruption to them. Their brains can't filter out that sensory input, so it all comes at them at once, overwhelming them. Think about a trip to the grocery store. You walk into the store and the lights are buzzing, the aisles are crowded, and the loudspeakers are announcing promotions. It's all a lot of noise, light, and movement. Now imagine your child, who might already be sensitive to sound or light, being in that environment for an extended period of time. After a while, they might just reach their breaking point. That's when the meltdown happens, not because of the store itself, but because their brain can't process all the overwhelming stimuli at once. Another common trigger is routine disruptions. Children with autism often thrive on predictability. Routines help them feel safe and secure. And when that routine is disrupted, whether it's a change in schedule, an unexpected event, or even something as small as changing the route to school, it can throw them off balance. For many children with autism, these changes aren't just annoying or inconvenient. They can be genuinely unsettling and lead to meltdowns. Let's take Daniel, who loves his morning routine. Every morning, Daniel gets up at 7 a.m., eats his breakfast, and then goes to school at exactly 8 a.m. His day is predictable and calm. But one morning, Daniel's mom had to take him to the doctor, and they had to leave 30 minutes earlier than usual. That small shift in routine triggered a meltdown for Daniel because he wasn't prepared for the change. It wasn't about the doctor's visit. It was about the shift in his schedule that threw him off. Communication barriers are another trigger. Many children with autism have difficulty expressing their needs, emotions, or discomforts in a way that others can understand. This can lead to frustration, especially if they can't communicate what they're feeling or what they need. This frustration builds up and can eventually lead to a meltdown, as it becomes their way of expressing that they are overwhelmed or in distress. Take Emily, who struggles with verbal communication. One day, Emily's mom, Jessica, was trying to get her to put on her shoes. Emily was clearly agitated but couldn't explain why. She was trying to show her mom that the shoes felt too tight, but she couldn't express it verbally. Eventually, the frustration built up, and Emily had a meltdown. Jessica realized that Emily wasn't misbehaving. She was simply unable to communicate her discomfort. After this, Jessica started using visual aids to help Emily communicate her needs, which reduced the frequency of these meltdowns. Finally, let's talk about the emotional and neurological factors that come into play. Meltdowns aren't just about the environment or external triggers. There's also a lot happening in the brain. Children with autism often have differences in how their brain processes emotions, especially feelings like fear, anxiety, and frustration. Their brains are wired differently, which means they might struggle to regulate these emotions. When they become overwhelmed, their body can go into what's called a fight or flight response, where they feel like they need to either physically act out or shut down. Let's take Jason, a 5-year-old who loves going to the park. On most days, he's excited to see other children and run around. But one day, Jason's mom, Sarah, noticed he was becoming increasingly agitated as they arrived. The noise of other kids laughing, the sound of the swings moving, and the brightness of the sun were too much for him. His brain started triggering that fight or flight response, leading to a meltdown. Jason couldn't handle the overload of sensory input, and his meltdown was his body's way of reacting to that overwhelming stress. He wasn't being defiant. His brain just couldn't process everything at once. I want to take a moment to hear from you, because this isn't just about me talking to you. It's about creating a conversation where we can all share and learn from each other's experiences. Have you ever had a meltdown with your child that left you feeling helpless or confused? I know it can be really overwhelming, especially when you can't pinpoint what triggered it. Was it sensory overload? A change in routine? Or maybe something else entirely? I'd love to hear about it. Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's open up this conversation and help each other out. We're all in this together, and hearing your stories can help other parents who might be going through something similar. Maybe you found a strategy that works for your child, something that helps them calm down during those intense moments. Or maybe you're still figuring things out, and that's okay too. Either way, your insights could really help someone else who's in need of support or advice. So please take a moment to drop a comment and share your experiences, tips, or questions. Together, we can build a community of understanding and support. And if this video is resonating with you so far, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It's a small gesture, but it helps us grow our community and get these conversations in front of more parents and caregivers who might benefit from this type of support. By liking the video, you're not just showing appreciation for the content, you're helping to spread awareness and encourage others who might be struggling with similar issues. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos where we'll continue sharing helpful tips and strategies for raising neurodiverse children. All right, let's wrap everything up. We've covered a lot today, so let's take a moment to review the key points. Meltdowns in autistic children can happen for a number of reasons. Things like sensory overload, changes in routine, or struggles with communication. These triggers might seem small or even random at times, but when you understand what's going on behind the scenes, it becomes easier to see why they happen. And most importantly, you can respond with the patience and empathy your child needs. By recognizing these triggers and being proactive in your approach, you can help your child feel more in control and supported when these moments do arise. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope it gave you some helpful insights into why meltdowns happen and how you can manage them in a way that makes things easier for both you and your child. Please do well to check out this book titled Autism Positive Parenting by Sharon Davin on Amazon and other recommended books with the link in the description. Remember, you're not alone in this. Every parent of a neurodiverse child faces unique challenges, but with the right tools and support, you can make those challenges feel a little less daunting. Keep up the great work, and remember, you're making a difference every day, even when it doesn't always feel that way. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to share the next video with you.